Greetings from Christian Friends of Israeli Communities. My name is Ryan Roberts. I'm one of the directors here in the Colorado Springs office, a Christian myself, a pastor of over 14 years. And today I bring you a word from the Lord that I believe is speaking to God's people throughout the earth to realign themselves with what God is doing in these end times. The passage comes out of Psalms 102, starting in verse 13 and continuing through verse 18. After I've read it, I'll explain how that applies to us today. Verse 13 of Psalm 102, "You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to show favor to her. The appointed time has come. For her stones are dear to your servants, her very dust moves them to pity. The nations will fear the name of the Lord, all the kings of the earth will revere your glory. For the Lord will rebuild Zion and appear in his glory." Verse 18, "Let this be written for a future generation, that a people not yet created may praise the Lord." The first word I'd like to break out is the word compassion. You will arise and have compassion. Who's it speaking to? God's people. You will arise and have compassion. A parental love, that same love a parent has for a child. In this context, that child is Zion, and defined Zion is God's people and his land. We, God's people, will arise and have that parental love for God's land and for his people, for it is time to show favor to her. That favor is to show mercy, to show kindness, to make Zion and her land beautiful. For there is an appointed time. God has set a time in history. And he says, I will meet you there for the sole purpose of revealing my will to you. Her stones, those relationships are dear to your servants. Her very dust, God's land, will move them to pity or to compassion. The nations will fear the name of the Lord. The kings of the earth will revere your glory. For the Lord will rebuild Zion and appear in his glory. God has already begun the process. He's already begun to rebuild his land and his people. The question is are you realigned in what God is doing in these end times? In verse 18, let this be written for our future generation. That's you and that's me. What are you doing in response to this biblical mandate? Are you arisen and are showing that parental love for God's land and his people today? Are you ready to respond to what God is doing and revealing his name and his glory in all the earth? I challenge you today to answer this biblical mandate. I challenge you today to realign yourself with what God is doing in these end times. God bless you.